Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, I got the message. R.E.L.A.X. Relax. AD's telling LA to relax. He's got this. All this stuff we talking about don't make no. It ain't gonna play out that way. He's gonna play better, and we're gonna get where we're trying to go. I'm gonna chill. Because I know that man has the talent to calm us all. He really does. If he steps into that, we'll be relaxed. It's that simple. He said he got it. I'm gonna watch him get it. It's literally that simple. When somebody can score 65 points, 7 blocks, 20 rebounds, it's 4 steals in the same game, and they tell me to relax, I'm gonna relax. That's what it really comes down to, man. I'm trying here, like as a Laker fan, you know what I mean? I am trying because we are so close to not having this season be for anything at all. And we left so many winnable games on the table. A lot of them had to do with his absence. A lot of them had to do with guys not playing well. A lot of had to do with other things. Had to do with choices of the coach, schemes, and all of that. But at the end of the day, we messed up this game so much because we were not focused. We messed up this season, rather, so much because we were not focused. We could have put ourselves in a position to win so many more basketball games down the stretch just by handling business a little better, managing the clock and things that we've talked about a lot. So I don't doubt I need to hear somebody tell me to relax because I've been wound up for the last 2 weeks, and I think it's merited. It's really merited because of where we're at, because of what we've just done in regards to bringing in new players. I don't miss that pick at all. And if we don't make the playoffs, I'm still not thinking about that departed pick. It ain't a thing. We still have to understand that we have a job to do with the players that we have, and there's a chance that some of that value represented could leave at the end of this season. We don't expect it, but we need to start expecting it because the market is changing for some of the players that we have, which means we're going to have to overpay for a guy like Austin Reeves, which may mess up certain things that we had penciled in. Now, we hope that doesn't happen, but I tell you, getting to the playoffs and making a nice run for it will surely make us feel a lot better about whatever happens next, regardless if it's favorable or not. But if we fall out of these playoffs and end up handing the Pelicans a lottery talent and then proceed to go into this offseason and lose a D'Angelo Russell or lose a Austin Reeves, you know, that type of thing, that's what will keep LA from relaxing, man. That's what keep Laker fans from not feeling so good about ourselves. So it's like, if we can get these wins, you know, we'll relax. But fans like myself, we're looking at a lot more than just these victories, man. We're looking at a lot more that has us riled up than just you missing free throws, man. We got a lot to consider as a franchise, and a lot of it's leaning on AD, who's telling us to relax with like 10 games left. And look, I'm cool with him relaxing. I don't take that in the same way as fun. That ain't the same thing as him saying, let's be okay with losing. No, that's him saying he's got this, which means that I expect him to have it. You know, I'm not gonna sit up here and say he needs to not be relaxed, but I think this is the time to not be relaxed, to be honest with you. I think this is the time when you start lacing up your bootstraps and really going in. But everybody handles these moments differently. And sometimes the best way for a leader to handle things is to be calm when the pressure's on. I've seen great leaders move that way. So I don't doubt that's the way to go sometimes. It really is. So long as you're bringing the intensity to the detail, that you're paying attention to what it is that you're doing. You maybe don't bring it to your behavior or to your energy, so to speak. You may not be all tight when you're, focusing on trying to calm all of us. But when it's time to do homework, you really got to dig in with the intensity necessary that has no relaxation attached to it, because that's the type of homework that's going to help you calm all of our nerves and beat these teams. Got to be intent on not only just looking to play well, but looking to be prepared for what it is that's coming at you. And so that's what I want to share with Anthony Davis. I can relax when I know that you're focused. I can relax when I know that you're confident. I can relax when I know that we're winning. Austin Reeves helped me relax, man. He really did. Against the Dallas Mavericks, or against the Orlando Magic, rather, I calmed down. So, I don't want to step backwards. We've had a day or two to think about all that has happened. We got a win in between the time, so we were able to rest up a little bit as well with these 2 days off. We're still home. Everybody's in L.A. It's this great time for the Lakers team as a whole to enjoy Los Angeles. Because we don't really think about it too much, but a lot of these guys, they play on, they have their home stands, but not very long ones, and then they go on the road representing L.A., but they're not spending time in L.A. This is a chance on the schedule for them to actually be in L.A. for like 9 straight days as a team. So they did the team photo thing. All of that stuff makes sense. But for me, it's just looking at the players today, and I already mentioned this, so I don't want to pour it on, but they just didn't look too happy to be there, and it just didn't look like they were overly confident, like the chemistry was as sharp as it was last year or whatever. I don't want to bring up last year necessarily as a good chemistry comparison, but we've had better chemistry than what appears to be seen today, and I just think it's intense right now, and I think guys are not really sure what they're going to see from themselves as a team, and I just don't like that uncertainty when we're walking into the type of stuff that we're walking into with this tournament fight we're in. So, again, the Los Angeles Lakers are a team who have definitely kept their fans involved all season long. If that's the goal, I will tell them that they've gotten it done with flying colors. I've never been more focused on a non-championship level Laker team, because I definitely do not think this is a champion right now. And it's not because we don't have the pieces necessarily. It's just because they can't stay healthy. And then, of course, we've talked about the rookie coach factor, man. And so we just got to try to march forward and build for next season. And I think the only way to truly do that is to continue fighting the hardest possible within this pressured circumstance. That's what I would also tell AD. This is experience you're going through here. This is an experience. When you really zoom out and look at all of it for what it is, this is a year for a guy like Anthony Davis to carry on under his belt, because he's not going to retire at the end of this season. But whatever happens here between the next 10 games plus this tournament is going to determine a lot of his legacy, and it'll also determine how people view what they think he's capable of doing for a team in regards to winning. This is one of the most important stretches of his career, And so I'm rooting for him as a Laker fan. I'm rooting for him as a fan of his game. As someone who really, really deeply respects the game, I look at him as like one of the greats, but I just look at him as one of the greats who doesn't know he's one of the greats. Like he's the last one to find out. That's genuinely what I think about Anthony Davis, and I think he's been robbed of an opportunity to have consistent basketball play to see it because he's had injury issues. I do believe that it ain't his fault. So that's something that needs to be said. I just think he needs to play more basketball with the Lakers. You know what I mean? Run the pick and rolls and stuff like that we need to see. And it's just hard to do that when you're missing a month, 2 months at a time. It's just hard to get your timing down. Just like I said about him fouling unnecessarily Maxi Kleber and having those issues. That really does come down from him just not playing a lot of basketball, y'all. Honest to God, man. I don't think Anthony Davis is a bad defensive player. I think he's obviously the polar opposite of that. I don't think he doesn't know better than to close out on a guy and run straight through his chest on a 3-point contest. But I do think he was a bit distracted. I don't think he was relaxed. And I do think that he needed more reps on that particular play just in general, so that even if he isn't focused, he doesn't lean into doing that. Not that. You know what I mean? And so if you have enough repetition habits, even if you're not focused, you're going to accidentally stumble into the right thing because you do it so many times. And that is something that I think doesn't get expressed enough just in life in general. No matter what it is you're doing, you do it enough times, it becomes second nature, even when you don't realize it's second nature. Like, beyond it being second nature, it becomes even more of a second nature. If that makes any sense. It's like it becomes a part of who you are, not necessarily what you're doing, if you do something enough times. So I just think that the Lakers, we need to schedule more practices. That's been what I've been singing for the last 2 days. I just feel like these last 3-4 years since Bron has been here, this team ain't practiced enough. We have not practiced enough. We don't have high enough talent in any of these years for us to practice as few, as we did. And the only reason why I think we won the championship we won is because we were in a bubble where everybody was forced to do nothing but play basketball, as to which it gave us the repetition that we've been lacking all them other seasons. So I think beyond everything but injuries, really just comes down to not having enough reps at all of the different things that need to be practiced. Both the coaching staff and the players, they need to double their practice time. And I know that. I deeply know that. And I think that there needs to be an understanding that you making 1,000,000 times more than the next guy should not absolve you from practice time, because the team has to be on a string. And so you have to be down there just as much as the guy who's making $1,000,000. Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't know your game and you don't know his game, it doesn't matter how good you are. The team's not going to be very good. And you're not doing your job because you can't lead that team to where it needs to go. You see what I'm saying? It all correlates. So, like, these superstars, I'm telling you, in my league, in my NBA, y'all going to have something in y'all contracts that's going to determine you guys practicing for sure. The repetition is so very important to the product on the floor. And this era don't want to do it because they're wealthy and they want to do other things with their time, but they're not as good as they need to be to make it make sense out there. And you know what I mean? It just is the honest truth. You're getting paid too much money to not be as excellent as you need to be because of something like non-practice time or not doing enough repetitions. No, man, I just don't think that that's what's going to translate to you being happy about what it is you're doing out there. Forget how I feel about it. Forget how I want you to work hard or run yourself into the ground. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. You got to be excellent out there so you can get the victories. And if y'all not excellent out there, it's because you ain't practiced enough. It's that simple, man. I don't care what it is you're doing. And we ain't even just talking about basketball. It's everything. Whatever it is you're doing, you better do it enough times. You put in them hours and then keep putting in them hours and stay a student of whatever game you're in. You think you mastered the game? You ain't mastered nothing. Nobody has. And even if you master it, if you don't keep your skills up, you will lose them. You got to keep sharpening that knife or it will dull out. So these are the type of things I want to say. Anthony Davis telling me relax. I respect that. I'm calm when I say there's so much to look at. There's so much to look at. And maybe you have it under control, man. But I think there are things that can make your control even more controllable. And it starts with more intent on practice, y'all, as a team. Running pick and rolls with Anthony Davis and all that. More. Much, much more over the next couple of days. I think this homestand should have had these teams running. And look, I don't know what the conversation, the communication is with Darvin Ham, but I don't know how I would be able to sit in that locker room if I'm Anthony Davis and LeBron James and see things that I don't agree with not work without making some changes. I don't know how I would do that. It just comes down to me needing to be aligned with what it is I see if I'm a superstar player on the floor with the coaches and everybody. If we're running stuff that doesn't make me look good, that's got to make sense to me. You know what I mean? That has to make sense to the whole team. If I don't like it, I'm not going to sit there. And so that's something I want to say to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, particularly. It's like I only assume that one of two things. Either y'all are not communicating what it is that you don't agree with or that you agree with it. And the results show me that nobody should agree with this. So I want to see the changes, and I don't know how to go about getting those changes, but I know if I was a superstar, that would be what I would be screaming, that we need to do things differently, and this is unacceptable. You know what I mean? Because some of this stuff is basketball philosophy stuff, and look, maybe they all align. Maybe they really think Malik Beasley gives them the best chance. But I don't know how. And so if I'm Anthony Davis and I'm down there with Malik Beasley and he's bricking up a storm, we're going to have a team meeting about what we need to do with our shooting guard position. That ain't going to involve no feelings and ain't going to hurt nobody's feelings. But we're just going to talk about how we can get ourselves to victory. And these are the things that need to be done, man. That's what I do on this channel. I don't know why that wouldn't be done there. In regards to something that, you know, it just comes down to the results don't give you what you need. If you're going to do certain things as a unit and agree to it and it then fails, you know, I just have to assume I'm the only person. I would be the person who walks in the room and says you all are crazy. I have to assume I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Like, you all are crazy. Why are we doing something that doesn't work? So, you know, they would have to explain that to me. They would have to explain it to me to make that make sense. So I've been saying this all season long, man. Usually a lot less calm as I'm screaming it, but do people want to initiate failure? Because that's all doing things the wrong way is going to do for you. So we got to practice more. We got to put ourselves in a position to attack these weaknesses as a franchise, or a team rather, as a unit. And of course, sign a center. You know, we can't lose sight of how important that piece is. I still haven't heard that Tony was signed. I still haven't heard that Tristan was signed. Hopefully we'll get some type of set of new centers that they want to look at. If they don't sign these two, that's what will be acceptable to me. That's what will be acceptable to me. If you guys are calling up Vernon Carey and maybe, you know, flying in Whiteside or something like that. If you're not going to sign these two, let's move on and get some more guys in here quickly, because we really do have to fill out the center position. So that's what I'm expecting from the franchise. It's okay if you don't want to pick up Tristan Thompson and Tony Bradley, but it's not okay to not keep working out centers. Got to keep doing that. Got to bring them in. Boogie Cousins, I don't care who it is, bro. At this point, it's not about them doing anything other than helping us win these last 10 games and getting us in the play-in tournament. It doesn't matter nothing. In fact, not even the last 10 games, just the next 3 games. They need to be in place to help us win. And if they're not even going to be called upon, so what? Just at least have a backup just in case Winning Gabriel rolls an ankle in the game, or Anthony Davis rolls an ankle in the game, or both of them foul out. You know, you just need that piece to give yourself the player so that you don't have a layup line around there in the games you can't afford to lose. So that's the significance of it. Whether the player is going to be used or not, you must have them for in-game injuries possibilities. It's that simple. So, yeah, that's what I gotta say, man. I don't know, man. I'm stalling here a little bit because I wanted to talk my Lakers, but we really didn't have a game tonight. So, you know, it is what it is. We know we got Phoenix. I've talked all about them. I'm going to talk more about them tomorrow and watch those highlights of those games that basically they lost a bunch of, and try to see if there's anything there that is going to help us. You know, I just really think that my Los Angeles Lakers are on their last leg, man. And, you know, I am comforted by Anthony Davis seeming so calm, especially since I've been the one saying he looked like he's going through it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm going through it and I'm just projecting that on him. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we need him to play better. You know what I mean? I really, really believe that. He's had a hard time over these last couple weeks. And it's just unfortunate because he misses too much time for that, you know, for him to not be so damn great when he comes back. And it's unfortunate because he's responsible for so much. So there's a million ways he can have a great game, including putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. But most of us have a hard time, and I say most, I mean fans, we just have a hard time with the inconsistency of the level that he's willing to give us on the offensive end. Defensively, he's always good, but again, defensive plays that ultimately hurt us down the stretch that he messed up. So it's like, how to look at it? How do we say this is one of the greatest defensive players, except for when we need it the very most? He's making dumb decisions defensively. It's like, whoa, how do I relax, Anthony? How do I relax? You know? And so I don't want to pour it on more than I already have. I really don't. So that's the thought, man. I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping that he can deliver. I want him to be a Laker, you know what I mean? For me, best case scenario is Anthony Davis gets healthy from here on out, plays out the season, puts up the best possible performances given the circumstances, whatever the defense gives him, of course, but just really, really does his thing. And the Lakers win a lot of basketball games in the playoffs. That's my hope for Anthony Davis. I want to see him really lead us through a nice push in the playoffs. However that looks, and it all depends on matchups. You may mess around and get the wrong matchup in the first round and have to go home, but I want to see us do some damage. And if that is how we end the season, with him feeling good about his performance and us feeling good about his performance, I think we'll have a really good offseason. I really do. I think we'll have a good offseason. And so that's what I'm hopeful for. I don't want people to think I'm completely giving up on the chances of us doing something special right now. There's still a very small chance that we could really, really do something. But it's just not that. The attitude of the team just has to improve as a whole, man. It has to improve. And the organization, as the front office, they're going to have to make those decisions faster, as we've talked about. And the coaches are going to have to cover each other's backside so that they can, lean into success as a team, because it's going to be about inspiring these guys to make whatever they need to make happen so that they can make up for what Darvin's going to do to them with the roster. And that is really the truth, man. It is really the truth. It is really the truth. Darvin is going to do stuff that is just going to keep us at a disadvantage unless he starts listening to some people he's not listening to, man. God, I hope he starts listening to some people he's not listening to. So that we can start doing some things that give us a better hypothetical opportunity. At least make the stuff look good on paper. That's what I always say. At least make this look good to us when we look at it in the stat sheet. Because to me, we're doing stuff that doesn't. And as a result, we do lose games. And it's so very stupid to have to put it like that, but that's exactly what it is, man. So just get it right, LA. There are things that we've seen enough data of to know what works and doesn't. We have played already 71, 72 games. You know what works and what doesn't. Even with the short amount of time we've had with certain players. It's enough sample size. Let's start looking at that data and tracking what we do based on what that data has shown us, man. Please, Lakers, please. That is really how the NBA works today. You use your analytics. It ain't all feel. Your gut versus a whole league full of people who are paying attention to the numbers. Your gut's going to fail you, friends. You know what I mean? Now, if everybody's using their gut and there's only 2 teams using analytics, maybe you can, you know what I mean? Maybe you can find yourself in a situation where you're stumbling upon some luck. But everybody's using analytics. We can't just say, you know what, I think Malik Beasley's going to shoot well tonight. After like 4 and 5 nights of him not shooting well at all, the data's there, man. Let it guide you. Let it guide you. Darvin. So that's what I want to say, man. Good coach is going to let the data guide them. You're not going to overthink or overdo your own job. Guys playing well, guy plays. Guys shooting poorly, guy sits. Guy giving up layups, guy sits. Stuff like that. I mean, this ain't a hard sport to that degree. It's not, man. I know how complicated it can get. But it's still some things, there's some lower common denominator things that you're going to understand no matter what frame of basketball you're playing. Men's game, women's game, kids, grown folks. Doesn't matter, man. Certain things are just a constant. And I think some of those things are the things that we're really betraying out there, man. Like, seriously. So that's why I speak to the players saying we can relax, but you got to have some sway. If you're Anthony Davis, you can't just tell us to relax. You got to be able to get that stuff that needs to happen schematically down there to make sense, man. We need you to have some sway over what's happening down there. And I would, of course, say the same thing to Bron. We got to have some positive sway on what happens on the floor besides just playing. If you're a superstar, we got to have your voice represented, telling us not only to relax, but telling the coach what you see as a superstar, what you see. Tell the coaching staff, I see this from my perspective. Maybe, I understand this is what you believe, But I am down here and I'm telling you what I need. I need this, this, and this next to me in order for me to be my best. Being nice to Darvin Ham and him being nice to you and not communicating those type of things really don't help the team. We gotta get in there and have them hard conversations. And just be real about what works, what doesn't, what our goals are, what they aren't, all that stuff. I want our team to have a better hold on that. Because I think that's what we've kind of gotten away from this year and in the previous several years. We ain't really had a hold on that as a team since 2020. So, a salute to Kobe Bennett. Of course, I've passed it up. I missed it with all this ranting. But nevertheless, I still want to get him right. And just make sure that we remind everybody that we're wearing Mamba skin. Every time you put on purple and gold, you are carrying forth the precedent that he set. A very, very high standard that was set even before he got here. He just carried it forward, and reestablished the bar. So I don't know if anybody's looking to reach that bar, but we do want to see kind of you reaching for it and giving us some of that fight and that toughness that comes with putting on this uniform. You know what I mean? And embracing it. And understanding it, understanding it. We relax when we get them parades going, buddy. When we see the Fig parade, double-decker buses, that's when we know that we've done it. And since we've experienced that so many times, it's kind of hard to relax when we have it on the line. And we know what it is, you know what I mean? We know what it is. There are a lot of teams, as I've been saying all day, they're just happy to be here. Some of these teams, they really, really, really just need to get their first championship. After they get that, they'll be cool, man. They'll be so cool off that one championship. It'll hold them over for 10 years, some of these teams. They're not going to, because they never had it, you know what I mean? So they're just happy to be here. And we'll be happy for them. But for us, it's like, nah, that's not what we're doing here, man. And I don't want anybody to think that's what we're doing here. And so with the expectations being so high, we just got to be able to meet those, man. We can't lower our standards. We shouldn't have to betray the past Lakers just so that we can be comfortable with what it is that we can do. No, we got to do better. We got to embrace the challenge of bringing in people who can help us do even more. So that's where I'm at. That's what it is. I'm a Laker fan for life, regardless if we're at the top or the bottom. It's already been experienced. I didn't leave, so I'm not leaving now. But there's something to be said for how much relaxation comes with certainty. When you're certain you're not making the playoffs, it's going to be a lot of relaxing going on, man. When I talk about relaxing, I'm talking about that time to relax where you just chilling because you know it's over. Yeah, it's a different type of relaxation. When you know you're on the couch already, you're just waiting to see what other team's going to sit next to you. That's the type of relaxation that we don't want as a franchise. So if that's the type of relaxation you're telling us to have, brother, believe you me, you ain't going to find that here. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.